Hey, what is up mortals, it is James Seafair here, and today's video is what if Izuku Midoriya got one for all at the start of the anime, part 6. In the last part, the heroes had begun the raid on the villain's hideout to get revenge for All Might. Before we get into today's part, I'd like you all to leave your predictions in the comments below and any ideas you have for videos for a what if series. Now, into the video. Izuku is currently using one for all full cow to leap from building to building. He is trying to get as far as he can, as fast as he can. Meanwhile, over where Bakugo is, he's trying to rush to the raid area using his new rocketing ability. His rocketing ability is when he's redirecting all of the force into forward momentum. Over where the raid is taking place, all the villains have been captured. That didn't take very long at all, but soon after a large amount of Nomus appeared. They showed up, causing the villains to be freed, and the heroes now defied a large amount of Nomus. The heroes are having a hard time with these Nomus, as the only one who's really able to do much to them is Endeavor. Endeavor is working with a few other heroes that are on a larger size, such as the wood-based one and Mount Lady, as they're able to grab Nomus, bring them to him, and he's able to fry their heads off. The issue is that there's just so many Nomus that they're starting to overrun the heroes. The heroes are being pushed back away from the hideout. The two heroes who aren't allowing themselves to be pushed back are Endeavor and Mount Lady. She's able to swat most of the Nomus away, and Endeavor is separating them by burning them and spearing them using his different fire abilities. While they're doing that, it's around this time that a man with a nice suit steps out. He's also wearing some sort of metal mask. The man raises one of his hands, pulling his arm as it transforms. He then throws a shockwave punch leveling the area. Everything in that direction is pretty much destroyed. Deku finally arrives at the battle. He sees so much destruction. Over towards where the building is, half of the building is missing. It looks like it could fall apart any second now. As he sees towards a building that was hit by the impact, he sees a young girl, and at that building it appears to be starting to fall apart. The roof layer is starting to break apart and fall down. Deku immediately goes into his full power, full cow, and leaps towards the girl. He's going to try and move her out of the way. As he's moving closer and closer to the building, he sees it begin to collapse more and more. He then sees the building falling apart in slow motion. He knows that he's not going to make it in time. There's nothing he can do. He even tries to plant one of his feet, powering up to even more, 35%. He's now about 20 meters away. He sees the roof just about to crush her. Then something happens. There's a massive explosion upwards. When the dust clears, Bakugo is standing there holding the girl. Bakugo has a different look on his face that Deku has never seen before. Bakugo looks pleased. From the shattered building, a beaten up Endeavor slowly climbs out. His flames are barely still lit. He looks like he's beaten up and broken at this point. He looks exhausted. He stands up saying to the two, "Get the girl out of here and evacuate the city. I've tried everything on this guy. Nothing is working." Endeavor creates a massive fireball and then launches it at All For One. All For One just pushes his hand, creating a shockwave, sending it right back. Bakugo puts one hand out, creating a massive explosion, but is then focused to create a shockwave, as Deku creates a massive shockwave when using one of his shockwave punches. The force on each side of the fireball matched, causing the fireball to flatten, then to be extinguished. Endeavor looks at the two of them, a bit taken aback. "Aren't you two just students?" The two respond in sync, "Yeah, but that doesn't make us any less willing to help." Endeavor tells the two, "Well then, I grant you both permission to use your quirks in this conflict." Bakugo smirks. "Finally, at least now I can let loose." Dead Arms makes his way over to Bakugo. He takes the girl out of his arms. "I'll get the girl to safety. You three do what you can to beat this guy." Endeavor creates a fire spear and throws it at All For One, while Bakugo and Deku create massive shockwaves and launch them at him. All For One, planting his feet into the ground, is beginning to be pushed back slightly from the massive amount of shockwave attacks that Deku and Bakugo are doing. But now they're both feeling the strain. Doing this many attacks in such a short amount of time has its drawbacks. They both know that if either of them stop attacking, it's all over. Deku feels his arm muscles tearing, and Bakugo feels the pushback from each shockwave. It's nearly shattering his arms. Bakugo is doing his best to redirect the force towards All For One, because if he messes up and gets knocked over, that's it, they're all dead. While All For One is being pushed back, he says enough. He activates his quirk, Impact Recoil. Deku and Bakugo are instantly sent flying into the air, as All For One then begins to walk into the air himself. Enough is enough. Izuku Midoriya, it's time for you and that quirk of yours to die. One For All has seen its last day. As Izuku slams through an abandoned building, he hears a man say, "One for all?" And he wonders, how's that man know about One for All? Who is this guy? And how is he so powerful? Just then, Deku sees Bakugo rocket over towards him, grabbing Deku and with one arm, placing it up and then blasting the roof off the building. Then he rockets them both upwards. Just as they leave the blast radius, the building explodes. It appears that All For One has thrown a shockwave punch at the building. Deku would have been dead if it wasn't for Bakugo right now. Deku is shocked by Bakugo's speed and mastery of his quirk. He didn't know that Bakugo had this level of mastery over his quirk, and he didn't know his quirk could do this. They both land back over where Endeavor is. Endeavor says, "Where is he?" They both assume that he's talking about All For One. All For One then appears behind them, grabbing Deku's arm, slamming him to the ground, and breaking his arm. Deku, "Ugh!" He thinks to himself, "I didn't even see him move. What crazy speed." All For One then drops down to the ground, grabbing Deku by the face. "You're lucky I cannot forcibly remove your quirk. However, killing you? Now that's quite possible." Bakugo rockets himself behind All For One, blasting him in the back with everything he's got until he cannot lift his arms due to the strain. Bakugo's arms are shaking violently due to the strain. Due to the full power blast, All For One dropped Deku. All For One then as a reaction kicked Deku, sending him flying through another building. Deku climbs out of the building with cuts and bruises all over him. He sees Bakugo about to be smashed by a full power strike from All For One. Deku closes his eyes. In his mind he sees All Might, his mother, his friends, and everyone he knows. It's like they're all giving him power. Deku then sees the prior users of One For All. The full cow lightning is being released all over his body. It's covering the area around him. 30%, 40%, no 50%. It keeps rising. 60%, 70%, 80%. Deku's body is starting to feel the strain. 90%, 100%. Deku moves as a shockwave covers the area around him. The leg that he used to step shatters into dust. Deku gets between All For One and Bakugo. He yells, "Plus Ultra Almighty Smash!" His fist collides with All For One's. The shockwave that was created as a result destroys a large amount of the area, as both Deku and All For One are sent flying back in the opposite directions. Deku passes out for a moment as he's caught by Bakugo. "Bakugo, I can't believe I have to say this, but the only way we're going to stand any chance of winning this is if we attack him at the same time. I've got enough left in me for one last blast, and I'm going to need a moment to prepare it." Endeavor returns, landing next to the two. This area is cleared, the city's on its way to being evacuated, and he should be here any moment now. Bakugo begins to prepare his rotation bomb. He uses both of his quirks to rotate the explosion faster than ever before, and then rotating in multiple directions to increase its rotation damage. Deku says to Endeavor, "We need a few seconds to get ready. We need you to buy us some time." Endeavor nods. Izuku stands up on his good leg while the other one just dangles there. His left leg and right arm have been completely destroyed and shattered. Endeavor flies at All For One, throwing flaming spears and small fire blasts at him. All For One grabs Endeavor. He says enough is enough, then absorbs Endeavor's quirk. Endeavor's flames fade and then he is thrown aside as All For One lights up covered in flames. Deku sees this happen, and as he does, he powers up to his maximum power, focusing all of One For All into his leg and arm. After he jumps, he plans to transfer all of the power from his leg to his arm. Bakugo says, "Ready, let's kill this guy, for All Might." Deku nods. Bakugo places one hand behind him, rocketing himself towards All For One. A split second later, Deku leaps at All For One. As they do this, All For One pulls back a smash. His arm grows massively as he throws his punch, colliding with Deku's arm and Bakugo's rotation bomb. The shockwave destroys the area, creating a massive crater around them. Then, for some unknown reason, All For One's strength seems to fade. Deku and Bakugo are able to overpower him. They send him flying across back into the villain lair. Bakugo and Deku both fall to the ground, unable to move. Their bodies are both strained, beyond use. Eraserhead rushes over to them. "I'm sorry I'm late." This is where we'll end part 6. A few things I should say. Firstly, All For One in this what if hasn't had the chance to get the search quirk yet. This plays a huge difference as he can be caught off guard in this one, since he can't tell where everyone is around him at all times. If he had have this quirk, there's no way Izuku or Bakugo stood any chance against him, as they struggled to match him even when All For One was just playing around. Anyway, thank you all for watching. It means a lot to me that you've made it this far into the video. If you made it this far, please put hashtag for All Might in the comments, all one word. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and have an amazing day. Peace out, mortals.